Hi, I'm Stacey Freed. I'm here to talk with some people who really know what's going to happen post-pandemic when it comes to design and building of our new homes. It's not a news flash that we have all been spending way too much time in our homes these days. If something bothered you about your house before the pandemic, right about now, it's becoming really irritating. But building professionals know that these pain points can drive consumer desires, which in turn can lead to some interesting design options and opportunities. I'm speaking today with some people who are determined to understand those consumers' wants and needs and do something about them. First, I have marketing expert Terry Slavik-Tsuyuki of TST Inc., based in Encinitas, California. And we're also speaking with Elena Garman, company founder and CEO of Garman Homes, a regional North Carolina production builder. Terry, along with Belinda Sword of Strategic Solutions Alliance and architect Nancy Keenan of Dahlin Group, conducted the America at Home survey to gather insight about consumers' home ownership during this crazy time. They did the study at the beginning of the pandemic and then repeated it in October. Terry's going to share with us what the study uncovered, and Elena will hone in on how that data can be translated into new thinking on home design. So let's just start with why you decided to do this study.
Basically, at the end of March, most of the country was under some kind of stay-at-home order, and everybody was talking about the impacts this would have on things like hospitality, tourism, the airline business, restaurants, small businesses, and so on. But 90% of us were living life from home, schooling, working, all of it, and nobody was writing or talking about the impact that the pandemic would have on home and community. So I just decided to go out to the American public and ask. And I reached out to Belinda and Nancy, and the three of us co-funded the study. And we launched the first wave in April and then the second wave in October with the participation as well as of Kantar Consulting.
So what were some of the key takeaways from that first study, and how did it change in the second study?
We asked people to say, what does home mean to you today? And a safe place was like 91% of people said that's what it was. So the implications that that had for home design and just how important the home was in life overall was fascinating. The second insight really was that already nearly 92% of people had made changes to their home. So it wasn't working. You know, as you said, as you're living, schooling, teaching, working from home, the pain points that were there were really exacerbated.
So what were some of the most important things that respondents talked about? What were their pain points? Where were they remodeling? What were they doing?
I guess the best way to phrase it, and Elena, jump in here, but it was really kind of how do you take spaces that work for everybody, but also work individually, right? So every single space in the home suddenly became more important. And it wasn't just about, you know, making a bedroom, turning a bedroom into an office. It was making sure that spaces could work for different times of the day, for different uses. We also learned a lot around entry to the home. So how do you welcome guests to your home when we can again? How do you re-enter your home as an owner if you're working on the front lines or working somewhere else safely? So sanitization and hygiene really kind of became number one. So I think health is the new wealth, if you will, and that's really affecting home design.
And what happened once you got all these data points?
Yeah, so we took the pain points expressed by people. We looked at the key impact that those pain points had for specific areas of the home. So such as how do you enter the home, space utilization overall, kitchens and baths that are on the front line now, home offices. And we held 3 virtual design workshops led by the team at Dahlin, where we even like used Oculus headsets, got into VR rooms, looked at inspiration imagery related to the specific insights from the study. And then out of those 3 design workshops, we essentially created what they called a kit of parts. And then we came back together in 2 full design charrettes where Dahlin presented concept floor plans, concept elevations to the team collectively. And honestly, the team at Garman had the greatest level of input, clearly as the home builder that will build the concept home, into what would work and other changes we needed to make.
So Elena, talk about some of that. What did you decide to do and how did you do it?
You know, the data really informed us. I love what Terry said about, you know, as home builders, we try to be very intentional about the spaces we're creating, but also give the buyer permission to use that space to serve them the best, to serve their own life the best. And, you know, I felt I don't want to be so prescriptive in our floor plans that people think like, oh, this room has to be this and this room has to be this. It's leaving it open for the home buyer to layer their life and their needs on it and make it really perform for them. And so the concept home is so insightful in that way. And the group and the design charrettes that we did were so productive and thoughtful, and really moved us in a direction of being super intentional about every single space and how that space could rise to the challenge of whatever the homeowner is facing. So not building a Frankenstein home where there's a room for everything, but really mining the space that you create to have all of these different purposes, to be school, to be home office, to be a Zoom room, to have a place to go and be private and cry if you need to, where people can't access you. I mean, a place of safety is a high bar right now.
Yeah.
And making people feel it and showing them the demonstrable, observable ways that this home can keep them safe. And that's really designing the spaces to protect certain areas and to close and to minimize exposure in other areas where it's unavoidable.
So how did the charrette focus on a particular customer? It's easier when you have something in your mind, right?
The family is instrumental in making sure that we edit ourselves and that we don't just follow every idea, that we actually tell a story sort of start to finish with the home. And so we're reflecting a specific family dynamic. So one, it's a 2-parent household. One works outside the home, one works from home, and 2 children. And so one child is in elementary school and one child is in preschool. And this is all based on the demographics and the data, reflecting the customers whose opinions we've captured in the data and then reflecting that in the home. So that informed our decisions on how to use a flex room that we have in the front as a school and playroom. How to incorporate private office space without taking up a bedroom. That was another insight from the study. How to create a family bathroom that's big enough, not just for the kids to bathe in, but for the kids and the parents, because we are bathing our children for a number of years, and their bathrooms are seldom large enough to accommodate all of us. So it's reimagining the space for how it really needs to function for that family, and then making choices about like the family entry, the entry from the garage. If that person that works outside the home is a frontline worker, should the laundry be there instead of upstairs with the primary suite? Usually the laundry follows the primary suite, the person that's doing the most laundry. But in this plan, we're taking a different purview for allowing for sort of a decontamination zone that's also a really beautiful mudroom. So what we don't want to do is like institutionalize this home. It has to be a home first, but function really well to support the family that lives there.
Terry, do you have something to add to
I
that?
was just going to mention the laundry question, Stacey. That was a direct result of the second study. So the desire for the laundry to be next to the entry, the owner's entry in the home, increased 11% from April to October. So just, I know that was pretty significant. So just showing a continued trajectory, and a lot of the behaviors people made, changes they made in April, they still have been doing in October, and more than 80% of them say they expect to do these changes and live this way post-pandemic.
I believe you're going to be building these, you said, in this early in 2021, right?
So we will be building this home. We will construct this home. Hopefully, we're waiting on the lot development right now. So once the lots are developed, we'll start construction. It'll take about 6 months. I will be documenting all of that and sharing it on social media, various platforms, and then we will invite people to come, and hopefully that will coincide with a time when most people can be vaccinated, it can be safe to do so.
We're also working with the team at Sicilian Partners to create the real sort of digital virtual discovery experience of the home and the way the home lives within Chatham Park, within the community itself. So we'll be able, they're building an online portal which will function like a website, and we'll be able to actually see how people look and explore the various parts of the home and what changes they make to the kitchen, what they think about the family bath. Do they add the closets to those bedrooms upstairs? How do they merchandise that guest suite off the front? So we're going to be collecting real-time consumer insights as Garman's building the actual physical home. And then as people come through and explore the model, I mean, Elena said to me many months ago, and it's just stuck in my brain, when I was so excited that, you know, building the home gives us the chance to really learn from the data insights. And your answer was no, that's when the learning just begins. And also, I think the other thing to know is that we really were careful about this. The insights from the data apply differently in a home in California versus Colorado versus North Carolina or Texas, right? I mean, all of these markets are so different. Weather's different. Just what's commonly accepted design aesthetics are different, right? How people live in some cases is very different. There are basement markets. There are other markets that aren't basement markets. So I think what we're excited about is that the insights from wave 1 and wave 2 of the data did definitely show that the behavior changes made are continuing. So now it's about how do we share access to this openly, because that was our goal. This is about really helping others, and how can they learn from those insights and apply them in their specific markets.
Yeah, I hope I'm not the last concept home builder. I hope there are several other builders who take these insights, work with this team, and develop something really incredible and build it. I think this concept, these homes need to be across the country, and seeing different interpretations will unlock more insights for all builders. I mean, it's certainly not, I get this home that we're building, but the concepts are there for everyone to sort of take and reflect in their own design.